Okay, so this is going to be how I do a pressure transfer. So fermenter has been at the same SG now for 3 or 4 days, still showing minimal activity. I mean, like tiny bubbles in the spunding valve. I think I'm going to count the keg as secondary for this one. It's an IPA. The hops have been in there already 3 or 4 days, and this has already been filled with star sand, and obviously it's my star sand bucket. And I'm going to put the CO2 to that, bring the star sand out, a little CO2 run through it, and I'll probably take the coupling off right there, let pressure build and purge it a little bit, and then I'll tune back in. All right, just see, this is hooked up. I'm probably gonna make a huge mess, but we're gonna try it like that. And I've got this already kind of turned on, just a tiny amount, I think 3 psi. But this is what happens. I don't have much star sand. I've already soaked the inside of the keg. Alright, so now you can see the pressure is coming up in the keg. I'm could probably stop it around 10. I'm going to burp it a few times. Again, let the pressure come up about 10 or so. I just realized my bottle is about empty. That's not good. Hope I have enough to get this done. That would suck. Anyway, so this is the equipment. I've already got part of my equipment in the hose. I'm gonna hook that up to a quick disconnect. And then that obviously goes on the tri-clamp. Then I have my spunding valve and just hardware, and I'll come back. Okay, so got that's going to be the CO2 inlet. Obviously that's the beer outlet, still got star sand in there. CO2 is going to be connected to this, open the valve. I'll close the spunding down a little bit, and I'm going to try and work with about 2 psi differential to let it fill. I'll be back in a second. One quick thing to point out, you want to put the beer in through the out, because you want the keg to fill from bottom up, otherwise it foams out. And this keg still got a little tiny bit of star sand in it. It'll be fine. You won't ever taste it. It's not enough to be consequential. So we're pressurized. Oops, let me close that down just a little bit, give it a good turn, and we're transferring the beer. What you'll see is the spunding valve's going to come up. It's only at 5 psi, so I've got a pretty good differential to go. I don't think you'll be able to see the level. I'll just wait until it comes through the spunding valve. You can see this is filling up. I'm at 10 psi, so basically that's it. I just sit and wait for transfer to go. And that's it. It goes until gas or beer comes out of the spunding valve. Really, this is kind of anticlimactic. So you can see I got that spunding at 9. This one's right about 10. Really, I'm just like 1 psi. I guess that one's dropping down a little bit to 8. But anyway, the point being, it's a slow transfer. Doesn't foam the beer. I probably let it condition in the keg a couple of 3 weeks. This is a black IPA that I showed on that first video. And one neat little thing. So, not to take away from SS Brewtech's product, I'm sure it's good. But for, I think, 35 bucks on Amazon, you can get this controller. And then I think it was 15 bucks, you can get a battery warmer, which is basically a 5x7 inch heating pad that can be tucked in there on the bottom of the cone. And this garage basically stays about, I don't know, whatever outside temperature is. Lately it's been 40 degrees, 35 degrees, but this kept it right where I needed the yeast to be in the sweet spot. No issues. And total investment was, well, about 50 bucks as opposed to, I think, a couple $100, maybe not that much. But yeah, this is it. I'll let the keg fill, and when it's full, or when I run out of beer, it should be pretty close to 5 gallons. I'll unhook everything and put the keg aside.